If you've been frustrated with crafting social media content, pouring your heart out, literally doing it days and hours on it, but when you publish it, you feel like literally you're getting crickets because no one's responding or engaging with it or even seeing it, then you're definitely not alone. In my opinion, social media strategy has changed. And it's changed a lot, to be honest. So I've done a lot of research where I looked into exactly why the algorithm have shifted this way, but also spoke to loads of leading minds in the marketing field to find out exactly how to win against the algorithm with this one strategy. And in this video, I want to walk you through exactly what this new approach is and how you can share social media content going forward to get it seen. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Laurie, and on this channel, I create videos that help you grow an audience, but get more people to also click, sign up, and buy from that audience. And if you like the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you get notified every time I release a new video. But also don't forget to like this video so I know that you like this topic and I can create more videos like these as well. So first of all, we need to understand why is the algorithm not showing your content to your followers. Because think about it, right? Social media platforms, they thrive on attention. So they can then sell this attention to advertisers who can then show ads to audiences on the platform. And obviously they don't like it if you're taking people off the platform and therefore they're losing that attention with that slice of the pie. And that just means that when you're sharing content that are linking to, let's say, a blog post, to a landing page, to maybe another video somewhere else, or maybe your website, all these are content that are being pushed further down the algorithm because it's pulling people away from the platform. Instead, what I think could be really strategic and valuable this year is to have content that are achieving this thumb stopping effect, which is basically people stopping that scroll, right, as they're going through the social media feed. But it can also be consumed with very valuable information in one sitting. So maybe maximum, let's say, if a video within 60 seconds, maybe it's a text-based type of post within a few different carousel slides that people can also read through. And most importantly, within this content mix is that you don't have any links to external places elsewhere, but you create this one type of content that literally sits on your social profile and engages with the individuals on there so they can take away the most valuable information from it. And I think this type of content has a really smart name behind it. It's called zero-click content. It's actually a term coined by Amanda Navidad, who's the VP of marketing at SparkToro.
And so I call this zero-click content because it is content that offers valuable standalone insights with no need to click. And so clicking would be additive to the experience, but it's not required. And so this works on pretty much any platform. That's why Twitter threads are so popular. It's why LinkedIn posts and carousels are so popular, because people are staying on these platforms or scrolling through. Nobody goes to Twitter in hopes of leaving Twitter.
I think for a very long time, we're all very obsessed with what people are doing after they've seen our social media posts. So usually there's a call to action with a link to somewhere, which is all fantastic. But what we need to realize now is by doing too many of those type of content pieces in our overall social media strategy, this can really lead to the algorithm not working in your favor. So according to this Hootsuite study, posts without links got 6 times more reach than posts with links. At the same time, Hootsuite also did another research on Twitter, where on average, tweets without links got much more engagement and reach. So more than half, so 56% of Hootsuite's most engaged with tweets did not contain links to external sources. Zero-click content, which is basically what it is, right? Zero click off the platform, is type of content that allows people to get really valuable information without having to leave the social platform. So I experimented with many of these myself to see how it really differs in terms of engagement-wise versus, let's say, the ones that I have a call to action link on. And interestingly, even though I didn't do the call to action on these posts, they also led to inquiries on my services, people clicking onto my website, my profile to get signed up to newsletters, for example, on my website. So if you're sharing content that are valuable to your audiences, generally speaking, they will go out of their way to come find you after anyway. And think about it, right? Because from people who are using social media, from their perspective, we're all really busier than ever before. And a lot of us just don't have the attention span and the time to click off from a social post to go somewhere else to find a further piece of long form content that we don't have time to read or don't have time to watch. So really, this is a long-term play in my opinion, because you're applying this long-term view of the fact that you're moving audiences on this platform from just watching and seeing your content to eventually following you on the back of that and engaging with your content further to build that trust and eventually looking to buy from whatever that you're currently selling as your business offering as well. Ever wish that you can have an in-house creative team to work for you and your brand? Imagine having a really beautifully designed website, highly attractive social media graphics to attract an ideal audience, or maybe just really polished presentations to wow your clients without having to hire a full-time designer and having your projects completed by tomorrow. And this is why I want to tell you about Penji, where you can hire agency trained creatives to work on all your creative projects without having to hire full-time help, all on a simple subscription basis. And I've done just that on Penji, where I submitted a project to redesign my LinkedIn cover banner image. And the team over there in Penji started working on it ASAP. So within 48 hours, I got my project back for the first review. I want to mention here is that whenever you get your designs back within your subscription, you get unlimited revisions and you retain 100% ownership of all your source files. And I can see why it makes life so much easier for businesses who doesn't want to hire a full-time designer. Check out the links in the description below, and thanks so much for Penji for sponsoring this video. And if you want to see how this works in real life, here are some examples that really well-known brands and personalities are currently using this in their strategy. First up, we have Jay Clues. So Jay, I've been following him for probably a couple years now, and I love everything that he has to say in this creator space. But the best way that he uses this strategy is that within his LinkedIn content mix, he likes to mix in every other post or so with a LinkedIn how-to carousel. And this carousel just literally packed full information from A to Z on how you can do something as a creator, but all without having to click away from the post. And one of the really great ways he leverages this is that rather than linking it in his actual copy of the social post on LinkedIn, he links to it by saying it as a separate slide. So you can't click off of it, but the audiences know that to find out more about this concept, to learn more in-depth information, they can also go consume the podcast episode further or the YouTube video, whatever it is that he's currently sharing. So here's another example. Ed Lawrence, who's the creator behind The Film Booth, which I love that channel, by the way. Recommend you guys checking it out if you ever get a chance. Big shout out to Ed here. Is that you want to think about how do you use threads on Twitter in the most effective way. Now, most people, if you have a really nice piece of information, usually you create maybe a long blog post about it, or maybe a video about this in Ed's case, and he can share it directly linking to his audiences. But what he's done here is that he used the entire topic and broke it down into individual threads that he can share useful information on. So the topic for this thread is that he asked 7 millionaire creators how to create 100K from zero by doing it in the fastest way. And here's what they said. And he, instead of doing an entire video on this or entire blog post or just a very long post about it, he actually did individual threads linking to each thing that the individual creators have said. And then at the very, very end, he also added that if you want to learn more about this going forward or get more useful info like this going forward, he has a newsletter that you can sign up for as well. But very, very low on the call to action front, but rather giving all the valuable juicy bits up front. And the third example here is with this Instagram account with Jade Bites. Now, she's currently using this as a way to draw audiences to see how she cooks a really specific meal step by step in a very short form format. And of course, if you want the rest of the recipe, they can go to her website to get more information on that. But here, she's not linking them away to anything. She literally keeps them here as long as possible to watch this video, perhaps over and over, to understand how to cook this specific meal here, which is the chicken ramen. So I think in a way, that's one of the biggest understandings and shifts in our beliefs is that we need to think about how do we keep our attention of our audience as long as possible on the platform. And then they will then eventually want to go check out the rest of what we offer as well. So the key way to think about this is that we're not looking to create only zero-click content completely, because that would not work as a very great social media strategy. But what you want to do instead is have this as a content mix of your own social media content. And that means essentially creating content that are highly valuable, highly punchy, that's easy to read and also easy to digest within one sitting on that social platform, but also having other type of content mix that are actually driving people to individual call to actions, right? So by doing this, it becomes a very holistic way to not only have people going to the individual pages that you're driving them towards, but also increasing the overall engagement rate of your content over time. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. And I hope that you found this approach to be really helpful and hope it supercharges your social media content strategy going forward in this year. And let me know how you find it. Maybe give it a test. Let me know what the results are. I'm curious to find out and I'd love to hear from you. And remember, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up so I know that you like this topic so I can create more videos like this for you. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every time I release new videos like these. And if you like watching today's video, maybe you should check out this one here as well, where I talk more about social media content planning for the year ahead, which is really important to know. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.